Alright then, fuck you, Epic. Alright. um, Different kind of video today. I'm just going to be going through just some more tutorial type shit. Um, so I've been asked to, and I think well, I haven't been asked to, I want to, but I've got like a list of points that I can do. Alright, so first I'm going to go through what survivor do you level first? Because on this account, I've just got everyone prestige 1. And like, it seems kind of random, but ideally, you want to level up either Meg first um, or Thingmin first. So Meg has the advantage of Sprint Burst, which is a perk where when you start running, for the first 3 seconds, you run at 150% speed. So it's pretty much like it's like 1.5 times normal. Um, and it also has Adrenaline, which is a perk that lets you, when the generators are all done, you get healed, which is probably, I'd say, the best survivor perk at the moment is Adrenaline, like in the game. Um, it's at least top 3. Like, just Adrenaline is so good. And after Meg or Feng, because Feng, like, I can't select her on this because I don't have her on this account, but she has Technician, which is really good if you're brand new, because like you miss a skill check, the penalty's a little bit bigger, but the killer won't be alerted. So then after Meg, I'd probably go for Bill, because Bill has the perks. He's not as important as he used to be, but he has. I wish I was a search bar for perks. This is going to get annoying. He has Borrowed Time, which means when you unhook someone, because normally there's like a 10-second like status effect you get, which means that so the killer can't just immediately hit you. But Borrowed Time increases it for an extra 10 seconds, which can just help someone get out of a tricky situation. It's not as good as it used to be. It used to be necessary. It used to be the best survivor perk in the game, because there never used to be a built-in version of it. And additionally, Bill has Unbreakable, which, since like when you're recovering on the ground, you won't be able to recover all the way. You'll have to you have to get someone to pick you up off the floor. But if you have Unbreakable, you can go the full way to picking yourself up off the floor, like 1 time per match, and it can just change the game. And then after Bill, I'd either go with Claudette, who has she has so self care is a very controversial perk because I mean, not as controversial as it used to be. There used to be a massive debate whether this perk was really good or really shit. I've always believed it's really shit, so you shouldn't use this. Don't use this perk. This perk is awful. Like, it takes like I think it's 50 seconds in the current patch to heal yourself with self care. In the next patch, they're increasing it, so it'll take it like it would take like 60 something. Like, there's no point in using this perk. But Claudette does have if I can find the perks, has Botany Knowledge, which lets you heal people quicker, and Empathy, which is a really good perk when you're new, because one of the things when you're new is you struggle to know when you should be doing each action, but Empathy lets you see your injured teammates from pretty much across the map. It's 128 meters, and like that's the size of most maps in this game. And like that'll let you know where the killer is if you're looking around. And an alternative to Claudette is Dwight, because he has Bond, which is similar. It lets you see. We don't have to be injured with Bond, but the range is much shorter. And Dwight also has the perk Prove Thyself. So basically, when 2 people are on a generator, the speed of the generator won't be double. This gives you like a bonus for more people who are closer to the generator, and like because there's like a negative effect pretty much for more people who are on a generator. And Prove Thyself just kind of negates that. I don't think it's that good, but a lot of people like absolutely love it. I think it's kind of overrated, to be honest. And then after that, if you're willing to buy DLC, Um, these two are really good from Project W. Zarina has Off a Record, which is a perk where once you get off the hook, for 80 seconds, a killer won't be able to knock you down from injured. So for 80 seconds after getting off the hook, you pretty much can't go down in one hit, which is super good because it means you don't have to heal immediately. And another one is where the fuck is she? Do I have her on this account? Oh yeah, I do. Kate. So Kate has the perk Windows of Opportunity, which lets you see where palettes and windows are. It's so good when you're a new player, and even when you know how to play the game, it's still so good. Like this just helps you learn the maps so well. In fact, like I'm gonna go into a match now, just like talking pretty much, and only going to be using Windows Opportunity just so like you can get a feel as to what parts are. I am playing against myself, by the way, but it's like your character doesn't matter as who you play with after you get the perks. So I'd say Meg first, then Bill, then Dwight or Claudette, and then you could probably go with anyone, but Kate and Zarina are both probably the best. So what I'd go for is I'd go Meg, Bill, Dwight, then probably Claudette, and then either save up because you have the iridescent shards, which are a currency in game. Basically, when your player level goes up, which is one of the numbers at the top, you get shards, and you can use it on stuff in the store like cosmetics and characters. So you can either spend money to get Kate and Zarina, which probably aren't worth it, or save up your shards, which is a better decision, I think, saving up shards than paying actual money. But you do have to grind quite a bit for it. So in this like demonstration match, I mean, I'm planning to go through like a couple of things. I'm planning. Um, these things are sorry, Twitter just gave me a notification for someone I'm not following for some reason. Um, one thing I want to go through is the HUD and how it works. So basically, there's the little circle thing on the HUD, which I am like there. That circle. And that shows you what your teammates are doing and what you're doing. So enjoy the music. There's a hatch, by the way. Enjoy the Demogorgon music. So like, click on here. There's a generator icon, and you can see from the yellow circle the amount of progress that there is on the generator. Just gonna. Yes. So basically, there's also the tentacles which move if you're getting chased, which I'm not sure how I'm going to do this considering I'm controlling two games at once, but um, this is going to be difficult. Okay. I just... Yeah, so you can see the tentacles wiggling. I'm only looking at the survivor's POV, so I can't... Oh, I've lost. Okay, yeah. So those tentacles start moving when someone's being chased. And there are other signs as well. Other symbols as well. I'm going to injure myself just so I'm injured, and then I'm going to put down a portal. So now I can seal. So this is like a Demogorgon specific thing, but pretty much when you're doing like interacting with the killer's power, the symbol will turn to that little skull thing, like, and that lets you see when your teammates are doing like interacting with the killer's like ability. So like with Demogorgon, it's seeing in portals. With like Resident Evil killers, it's using vaccines. Um, Stuff like that, pretty much. Like with Plague, it's like cleansing at the fountains. There's a lot of shit, really. And also the little. I'm gonna see if I can pull a medkit in order to show off that aspect of the hood. Oh, there's also the chat that you can see when you're doing a chest, like that little box-looking icon. Ignore my Steam name, alright? So yeah, I got a medkit, and as I'm healing, you can see it's like a plus. So I'm just gonna heal up, enjoy looking at Ada. Alright, so I'm fully healed now. And another thing I need to show off is I'll have to reset the lobby after it, but I need to show off what it looks like when you're dying on the hood. It's like someone standing still. So as you can see, the little circle with a plus in it, and then you can recover, and you'll see the yellow. No. Putting our hook like so. Hook now, and since I'm hooked, you can. I am such a moron. I've just spoken for 10 minutes whilst my microphone is muted. Um, so, alright. Time to go over for the second time. How do I find generators? How do I know where generators are? So, on most maps, there are places where generators will always appear, or they're very likely to appear, like the shack, or like main buildings. Like on this map, Mount Ormond Resort, there's pretty much always a generator. Ignore me. That's me. Always a generator in here, pretty much. But then, how do I know where the generators are when I'm outside? Well, I look for the antenna above the generator. So there's a generator from here. I can see there's a generator there. There's a generator in the distance over there, which I can see the antenna from this angle. And there's this generator here, for example, and then there's one more, which is over there, I think. See if I can see it. Oh yeah, it's in the shack. Okay. So you just want to look out for the big flashing light, because when the generator is done, the light will turn to just being a fully solid color. I need to remember to edit out the past 10 minutes where I've been speaking, but you couldn't tell. And for general strategy as well. Ideally, what you want to do is you just want to do generators pretty much, but you want to make sure you're split out up across the map for most of the time, unless you're like injured and you want to be healed. And it's better to do generators that are towards the middle of the maps first. So how the question is, how do you loop? How do you get the killer to chase you and not die immediately? So a huge part of that is just learning the maps and learning where the pallets are going to be. Using the perk Windows of Opportunity, which I mentioned earlier. It's definitely going to be a good choice for that. But who knows, you might not have K's, so I can go over just the basic tiles, okay. This is Shack. We like Shack. It appears on like every outside map, unless I'm mistaken. I can't think of any that it doesn't. And so the way to loop it is you want to come from this direction, you want to come in here, check here to make sure the killer's coming in, vault the window, go around again, and you get 3 vaults pretty much when you're being chased. So vault it like 3 times. And then after this point, the window will be blocked. So what you can either do is you can run this way to use the shack pallet on that side, or you can run the other way, which will usually mean you're going like this, and then you're going inside here, and then you're gonna be on this side and drop it, ideally. But you can also loop shack through going around this corner first, looking back here. I usually walk for a second here, and then you vault in when you see the killer going around that corner. So you go in from it. So you can go from the inside out around here, go wide to get the angle for the running vault, and then go back around. Alright, and next we just have these tiles are simple. You just go around them, hug them as tight as possible, and if the killer's close, you just drop the pallet. And this tile's a weird one. It's not on every map, but ideally what you want to do is you want to come from this way, get the running vault here, go around this way, and then here, depending on how close the killer is, you can either go around here and loot this and go back around, which is what I like to do a lot, or you can come from this direction, go around here, and this is usually if you want to like risk it, take the window again and loop back around this way, and then that gives you this pallet here, which you can just go around like this, or you can play the longer side, but the longer side you're not going to be able to see the killer, and the longer side is this way. And this longer side also gives you the angle on the window again. And like shack as well, you can come from the outside and vault in, but it's much worse, riskier than it is in shack. Oh, and this is a good time for me to explain how do fast vaults work. So fast vaults work by you need to get a certain angle on the window whilst holding shift. So if I'm just holding shift and I press spacebar, that's a medium vault. I'm not going to go for it as fast as I can. Whereas if you're like running for a second and you go out and then in, you get the angle and the speed needed to get a fast vault. And some of the running vaults are very hard to do, but others are fine. It's usually if you're running it the incorrect way. So this tile, for example, this is a hard running vault and going hugging that wall and then timing it. So I missed the timing there. Timing pressing the vault burn. And again, I missed it. I am used to playing with controllers, so that's my excuse. You can see the prompt switch to running vault for a split second, and it's like it's just something you get a feel for. But I clearly don't have a feel for it anymore. There, that's a running vault from that angle. But these are like really advanced. You don't need to know like the running vault angles on every loop. So for this tile, what you want to do is you either want to come through from, if you're coming from this way, you want to go through here, run through the pallet, go around here, and then take the window. And then you can just do that. It's pretty much just a rectangle. Go through the pallet, and then take window. Alternatively, if you've got enough, if you don't have enough distance to make the pallet, you can try and come this way and get this running vault, which is much easier than trying to go from the short side, like trying to do this. I missed it again. It's a hard vault to get from the inside, if like that. And this is another just a junk tile on the Ormond. You can either go around this way, which is the shorter way to do it, or if you've got enough distance, go the longer way. Run around in a cheeky circle. And this tile is it's one of the simplest tiles. It's just long rectangle, pallet, long straight line. So you just want to like hug this tight. It doesn't even matter which way you really go. Like ideally, you want to drop the pallet on the side where you can reach for the rest of the pallets. So the bad way for you to run this would be if you're running it this way. Because if you drop a pallet here, you're not going to be able to make anything because you got a dead end behind you. But if you're going the other way, which is this way. And make sure you're looking back as well while you're being chased. That's the most important part of being chased. And then drop it. I've got that pallet there. I could probably make it over there as well. The killer's like stuck in a dead end pretty much. Alright, and for our last tile, this isn't like, these aren't like generic tiles. Like that one spawns in pretty much every outside map. One over there doesn't, and this one doesn't. This is a weird tile. You pretty much don't need to know how to loot this. But what I like to do is, you want to come through the pallet, vault window, and then I usually go check here because you can see if a killer's coming around this side or that side. And then if they're coming around that side, I'll just go around, have a window again. But you can also, if the killer is closer, just vault for a window, go here, go around, and then get the fast vault again. I don't think there are any other points I had to cover. But you don't need, when you're brand new, you don't need to know how to run a killer. It's just something that's more advanced. I think that about wraps it up for today. I hope I've made this at least a little bit entertaining, just like kind of just a information dump. But have a good day, people.